Human trafficking is an ongoing problem. It's a national problem, and it's a lot more vast than any of us realized before we started studying it.
When you hear the words human trafficking, what comes to mind? Southeast Asia? Central America? How about the Super Bowl?
I have drove with them out to Indianapolis, and when we got out there, that's when he told me we weren't going back.
We think the Super Bowl is the greatest and the largest human trafficking event in the country, if not the world. It's happened in Dallas when they had the Super Bowl there. It happened in Miami, and we're trying to head it off at the pass here.
Women, especially young girls, are being shipped to the Super Bowl cities and sold as prostitutes to meet the demand for sex at the event. And it's getting worse. Leaders say the past 2 Super Bowls in Miami and Dallas have seen an increasing amount of human trafficking.
This is pure supply and demand. The operators of these enterprises will use these kids as commodities, will bring them to a community, and will literally sell them to people who are partying and having a good time and who apparently have a brain block and think there's nothing wrong with what they're doing.
It's estimated on the low end, 20,000 kids are sold for sex right here in the U.S. every year. On the high end, 300,000. Indiana Attorney General Greg Zeller is a national leader on the issue.
They've always looked at prostitutes as criminals. Well, if you look behind that, you'll start to see that many prostitutes were brought into it in a very young age, as early as 12 to 14. Once they become part of the system, it's very difficult to get these young girls away from it.
So, in an attempt to save our state from the disturbing trend, legislators are taking aim at the problem's roots.
They trade girls back and forth from city to city. They're highly sophisticated and very well run, and we're trying to go up the ladder and get those people, and instead of just settling for the people who ply the trade on the street.
The first step, harsher punishment. State lawmakers rushed through Senator Randy Head's legislation. It closes up 3 legal loopholes and moves sex trafficking to a Class A felony.
We're trying to add decades onto a sentence for someone who would even think about engaging in this kind of thing.
Governor Daniels signed it into law Monday. Law enforcement officials have been trained to know what to look for and aren't revealing their game plan in stopping the crimes. But sadly, there's still that demand.
Not only the pimp or the operator, but the customer can be prosecuted because it's illegal. It's a violation of the rights of the child.
And that's where you come in. Attorney General Zeller, Colts Senator Jeff Saturday, and other leaders signed a pledge, quote, recognizing that men create the demand for prostituted young girls and children, and that better men have to end that demand.
It's not just not buying a prostitute. That's one way of stopping it, but we really need, I think, better men to stand up and speak out against it so that people recognize that it's not going to be tolerated, it's no longer socially acceptable.
The pledge is a first of its kind surrounding the Super Bowl, placing a call to action directly on the community to speak up and speak out against a problem leaders say mustn't be ignored.
Better men need to stand up and speak out against the demand for purchased sex.